Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Corey, and this is my Healing Crafts channel. Welcome. I am starting a channel to show that you can heal through hard things, doing the things that you love. And today I'm starting out with this journal here. I was trying to get it done for Valentine's Day, but obviously that is over. But that's okay because we can start because it's really cute and tie it from right here. Open it up, and we have two signatures that are in this journal. This is not decorated or anything, which I'll have other videos of some of the stuff that I want to do to decorate the journal that we are actually going to work on today. And we're going to start off by looking at, I've already got the signatures, which are 12 pages already filled out and to the size. I made a template of my signature, so when I fold over my papers, I can cut it down to size and get it ready for my booklet. And in total, so each signature with the two, it's 12 pages, ends up being 48 pages in one signature because of all the different pages, but the two together equals a total of 96 pages. So quite a bit of writing space if you're a journaler. And then we're going to start off with this paper here. Oh, no, sorry. That's going to be the innard. This paper here is going to be the outside. And I've already gone ahead and I've already cut out my cardboard and also measured it out so it's a half inch, I believe it's a half inch around all of it. So when I go to glue, I know exactly where to place all the pieces and all of that. So it lines up perfectly, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. And I used a piece of card in between to give me the exact measurements on both sides so that it becomes firm. And I'll show you how to miter the corners and all of that. And it started out as a 12 by 12 piece of paper. See, and used regular cardboard, cut it out. Here's your innards. But it started out as a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I cut it down so that I can fit it along here because I don't want too much to have to fold over to make it too bulky. We're going to go ahead and start gluing down our paper. And I am using this right here, which is a gloss super heavy duty gel, and that is from Michaels, and it works really good at gluing down things that need a little bit of extra. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And oh, and see, the paper is 12 inches by 9.5 is how wide this paper is that I ended up with after chopping off a little. So I'm just going to go ahead and start putting on this glue all over my cardboard so that every square inch is covered to be able to get it glued down. And that way it will stick really nice. And the other paper will actually be able to also cut it, well, we'll actually measure and then cut it down to the exact size that we need after this. But as you can see, just put the glue all over that way. And this stuff actually dries pretty quick. So be very, very mindful of that. And we're going to just line it up with our lines for the most part so that it goes down, and kind of burnish it with our, oh, sorry for wiggling you. I've got to remember that. We're just going to burnish it down with our hands as much as possible to glue it down really well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move this really quick, and it will hopefully go down really well. And then we can go ahead and, oh, I guess I failed to mention that both of these pieces I made to 8.5 by 5 inches. So that's the width there. And this ends up being an inch across. And I drew some lines so that I knew about the two centers of the two signatures, but then I'm going to offset a little bit more out to the side for when I go to sew in the signatures on there. Always trying to come up with different ways of doing things to make life easier. So we're going to go ahead and again glue down this side as well. Sorry, I'm sorry if the camera is really wobbly. I am actually, I don't have a craft space. I am filming in my family room on a Lifetime table so that I have a place to set up and to be able to do all my different types of crafts. And it's not just journals that I do, it's a lot of other things. It's just right now I am in the midst of wanting to do journals because I think it's important for us to be able to write of our stories and our memories and things like that. So now we're going to go ahead and glue down this side so that they can be across each other. Okay. And then we can go ahead and put down the spine, which is 1 inch by 8.5. I like how easy these journals are to put together. Simple. You can make them you can personalize them to the person that you're making it for or yourself and just have a lot of fun doing it. I like to also give them as gifts so that others can enjoy them as well. Okay, I know this is curling on me, but we're just going to go ahead and move ahead because of time. And we're going to go ahead and cut off each of the corners at an angle so that when we go to fold it in, we can miter those edges really nice. Okay, just like that. And then what I like to do is I actually like to crease, try to get without creasing it all the way, just fold up the papers on all the sides so that they have a little bit of bend to them when you go to get ready to glue them down. And it will help it so that they glue down really nice. And then you can actually come along and really crease them so they have a nice crease to them. Just like this. And then we're going to go ahead and glue down these pieces. I'm going to do the top and then really try to work really hard at making sure that the corners get glued down really nice because we want really nice miter corners. Like I said, this stuff is really good at gluing down things. This is my second project that I've used it in and have been totally impressed with how well it actually glues. As you can see, it went down really nice. And that's all we want, is to make sure that it goes down really nice. You can use a bone folder and actually get it to go down really nice as well. And probably on this part would be really ideal to do that. Sorry, didn't mean to shake you again. Something I'm gonna have to get used to. Okay. And so with that being said, as you can see, all of this is glued down really nice. So when we come to the sides here, we really want to make sure that these little corners are really poked down before we go to glue down this next section on the side. And that will just help it so that it actually folds really nicely down. We're just gonna take the glue again, put it on, really well. You can use just a regular glue, but for the sake of all this, because I have found that it works so well, I'm going to continue to use this to glue this part down. And here we go. Really nice. I haven't really used art glitter glue all that often, or the Bearly Arts glue, so I am not sure how well those work in comparison to everything else. I do use regular school glue, but I tend to put a little bit of liquid starch in it to make it a little bit stronger, and that has seemed to really help out a lot. All right, I'm going to continue on this side and do the exact same thing as well. Just put the glue on really nice and thick. And be mindful, because this actually dries pretty quick, which is nice. Of course, I can be a patient crafter, like a lot of other crafters can be kind of difficult. You need more glue? Put more glue. Now, looks like I may need more glue. Okay, which is fine. Here we go. We'll just get more glue and fold it down. Here we go. I wasn't sure about this glue at first. Wanted to test it. That's why I did a prototype first before I started all this, and was so happy with the way it glues down and all that I'm gonna have to go back and get more, because I had just found that it works really well. All right. Then we're going to go ahead and again glue down this side, and watch your corners again to make sure they go down really nicely as well. Okay, here we go. Again, if it's not enough glue, just go ahead and pour more glue on. Here's an example of that. Needs more glue, which is fine. Put more glue down. We don't mind having to put down the glue. No. So now this gives me a really nice miter corners on each end, but it also now gives me enough so I can actually figure out the width of the next piece that I need. So I want to have the next piece actually, since this is about 11¼ inches wide, we're going to go pretty much 11 inches across. And then, of course, like I said before, it is 8½, or no, a little past 8½, pretty close. We're going to do 8¼ on that size with the paper. And I have this old school cutter. I'm just going to cut it off to the side really quick so that we can go ahead and work on it. And I may forget my size that I needed. I am so good at that. Oh, 11 inches across. So we're going to go 11 inches across to, well, I need to measure this on here. Go ahead and measure this way real quick so that I know where I have to cut. I'm going to do it at 11 inches right there. And then from here, we said we'll do probably about 8 1/4 as our width. Hurry and get that chopped down so that we can keep going. And keep your scraps because they can be used for so many different things. All right. And here we go. Here's the piece that we are now going to put on here, which is so cute. And this is why, again, it was supposed to be a Valentine's, as you can see, but we are moving ahead with what we're doing. So it doesn't matter if it's Valentine's or not. So I'm going to go ahead and just cover this whole entire thing with the glue to make sure it has a good adhesion, and then we can move on to the next part. Because I don't know how many of you have crafted before, starting, doing, whatever. It is fun to create. It is also fun to see inspiration from other crafters and just to be a part of a great community of people that like to have their creativity shown and done. I really thrive on being creative. That is definitely a big part of my life and has always been a big part of my life. So, and what a fun way to be able to do my crafts and to be able to share it with others and inspire others as well through journey through life. So just get a good coverage of your glue. Oh, sticky, sticky. Here we go. And we're going to go ahead and try to be hopefully pretty good about our lining up really quick because we don't have a whole lot of time to play around with this glue because I can feel it already drying on some of it, so I'm gonna have to put more glue on the corners. I feel it. All right, probably on that side. Yep, which is fine. Just make sure you get it down as good as possible. Okay, and again, I like to have my bone folder so I can really just get it pressed down and then also find where my center is and all that. Okay. And great thing again, how quickly this glue just adheres down. Also a good way to find this stuff because again, I didn't realize it'd be so good. All right. We're going to give that a second to dry just a little and come back to our signatures. I have turned around and I have this pink thread right here that we're going to use to actually sew in our signatures into this, and that way it can sit really nice into our booklet. I also have a kit that I've actually purchased off of Amazon that is a really great bookbinding kit, which I absolutely love but can't find at the moment. Which it's a bookbinding kit, and it's actually really cool. And this kit actually came with needles, scissors, the bookbinding, I forgot what it's called, the threading needle, which is really hard to see if you can, and all your bookbinding clips, and also wax threaded wire, and also a thimble, which helps you if you need help with all that. I believe the thimble also came with it. But it's a really nice kit, because when you go, and I'll demonstrate this while we're waiting just a little bit for the other stuff to actually, which I've already poked the holes on this, but I want you to see that when you open it and you put it in the dock, into the cradle, I guess, you put this in and you can punch out your holes on the desired length that you have. I've gone ahead and I've already done that, so that's already kind of, so we can move forward in this video. And I will need that for sure. And it's great because it helps you so that your lines actually can line up really nice. I did go ahead and I made, oh my goodness, sorry guys, sorry. I made a template here, and like I said before, I measured it out, put the 2 lines in the center, and then I offset exactly where I wanted to be able to do this. Now I have to make sure I'm lining up with how my holes are. I didn't write top on this one, which on this I put this as the top. So now I've just got to line it back up, find out which way, so that I can make sure that I can punch out my holes. And this is the way this one goes with this signature. And I'm going to put it on. And as you can see, I have this hole here and this hole here. These are where I'm going to sew in my signature into the spine and all of that. So go ahead and puncture those so that it comes through. And while I'm also at it, which, oh yeah, you can see, I'm going to turn around, and I'm now, see, this is why I crease those, so I know where I can bend those. And I bring this together, and I'm going to actually find the middle of my book, which is, let's see, oh, I should do it from the right, 8.5, so it should be about almost right here. And I'm actually going to put it right here, and I'm going to punch a hole all the way through both parts. You can see that it's right there as well, because before I sew in my signature, I want to actually place this ribbon as my closure, like on this one here, where I have the ribbon to be able to tie it off. So I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to use the last of this because this is all of this ribbon that I have, and cut it in half. Now I have 2 pieces that I can actually use, one for each one. Get out my needle, and if I can find the way to open this package, get out my needle and put my ribbon through. Okay, go ahead and do that. Oh, I should turn around and let me move my glue. So it is out of the way. Close it up so we don't have any problems. All right. And that way you can probably see a little bit better. All right. Sorry, first video. Yes, be a little nerve-wracking. Find the hole. And we're going to pierce that through just like that. And leave it so one side comes through like this, and all I did was put it in half and then tied a knot here and another knot, so that you have 2 on this side like that. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other side as well. So thread it through in half, and then we're going to turn around, find the hole right there, push it through, wiggle it, make sure you don't pull it all the way through on one end, take the needle out, line it up in half, and we're just going to double knot right there. Ta-da! Simple closure for your book, and it's cute. Okay, so it's going to help you to be able to close it. Okay, and now we're going to turn around, and I am from this angle I'm gonna poke these holes a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit easier to get the needle through when I sew my signatures. And usually, rule of thumb is they usually tell you the amount of string that you need is like 2 to 3 times the amount of your signature. And so what they usually tell you when you're doing this, and I usually like to double it up. So, but I'm going to go 1, they say 1, and then the length of your signature like that. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a bunch. So thread my needle. My eyes are in. Okay, thread my needle. I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, I have it doubled up. Okay, I'm going to take this one, and what I'm going to do is make sure that my holes match up to this one. I'm going to take it from the center piece, find my hole, which is, okay, these holes right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take it through my book right here to the outside of the book. Okay, don't pull it all the way through. Then we're going to come, hello, sorry, I know this is hard to see. Take my needle and make sure your thread is not coming all the way through. We're going to go back, go to the top part, and then find, oh, signature's got to stay together, but we're going to sew the next hole. So get it through all your papers. I should have clamped this down so that it would stay, so that I oh, okay, I made a mess. Yep, total mess with this and all of that. So I am going to clamp this down since, whoops, I've got flying clamps. Clamp this down so I can, well, okay. Clamp it down. No longer flying, no longer moving. Should have done it in the first place. Okay. And through one hole. And then find those holes. Which the other beautiful thing about that bookbinding kit is it really helps you to be able to really get your holes lined up. So it makes a really nice piercing in it, which is one thing that I really love. I love the design of what they have done. Oh, that wasn't through the center. Huh. Okay, well, we're a little off. Okay, I've mistakes. Love mistakes. Actually, we're going to keep all the mistakes in here. We're going to keep everything in here because I think it's healthy to be able to see this. That's okay because mistakes are good, right? Yes, indeed. Well, maybe we'll just keep this mistake in here. All right. So you go from here and we're going to jump all the way down to this part and go into the bottom hole right here. Okay. All right, pull it through. And then we're going to go through this hole right here. But make sure not to get your thread through your center. And because your thread is on this side, we want to pop out on this side. Okay, as you can see that right there. And not quite through the hole, but hey, whoops, come on. Right through here, and we're going to pop up. All right. And then on both sides, and I know my needle is stuck, but this is why, whoops, I like to double up. One, it makes it stronger. Make sure you pull tight so that it's, fairly tight over here. Pull a little tighter, and we are going to do one knot and then a second knot here, as you can see. And then I usually, just so I can get my needle off, I usually cut it just like that. So we're both on the same length on this. You can leave it to dangle. I mean, if you got really creative, you could turn around and hang some cute little beads. I have these cute little hearts right here. I could dangle a heart off of here if I really wanted to, as just a cute little element. Okay, now we're going to go to the second one, and nice part is we get to erase that off of our book right there, our signature. Okay, so next one we have our 3, so we got to make sure that our next signature is going to match up. And this one, we're not going to make the same mistake. We're going to keep it all clamped together, okay? And again, it says top, so this is the way it needs to go, which is great. I already know where that's supposed to go. So let's go ahead and I'll do that again. So we're going to thread the needle. Okay. I again like to double it up just to make sure that things are good. Sorry if I'm off camera. Here we go. We're doubling it up. Well, that's probably more than enough, but that's all right. It's all good. Okay. So again, we are going to go through the middle part of our signature right here. Okay. Through this hole, through the middle hole of our journal right here. And voila. Okay. Then we're going to go up to the top part and line it up from here onto our middle signature holes, which eventually will be a thing. Yes, we will eventually get, there we go. We made contact. Okay, and now we're going to pull down to the bottom one again. So skip the middle and go down to the bottom right here. Sorry if the lighting is bad. I forgot to turn on my light. Next video, we'll make sure our light is turned on. And so we're good. Okay. So here we go. Pulling through there. And then remember, we have to go back through the middle. We need to, this time, pull out on this side without splitting our thread in the middle. Sorry for the awkwardness of all this. So we're going to go through the hole and here we go. Through the center. Well, that wasn't very good either, but hey, that's all right. First video, it's fine. Okay, so now that we've pulled through, we just want to make sure that it's tight on the spine here. Okay, so we pull tight. And again, we're going to go ahead, tie a knot, knot it up, here we go, knot it up, get it together, cut it off, and we're done binding in our signature. This is a super, super easy way to make a really cute journal for any holiday, any design that you want to do. It's great. It's a great gift for the people who love to journal. And all we have to do now is tie it up and we are done. And here we have our super cute journal. All right, well, if you liked what I have done, you can like and subscribe and leave me any suggestions. Words of encouragement would be great. And again, all of us are on our journey of life. And if you're a fellow crafter, you know how fun it can be and that this inspiration can be given to anyone. And I appreciate your time and you guys have a good day and I'll see you later. Bye.